Basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors had been interested in Richard since before the 2025 NBA draft. On draft night, the San Francisco team traded up to select him in the second round. Initially, the Warriors front office considered offering him a two-way contract. However, in late September, the team finalized a 4-year deal. Coach Steve Kerr has been quite impressed with rookie Will Richard's performance at the start of the Golden State Warriors season. According to Kerr, Richard has been one of the team's standout performers since training camp. As a result, he's earned significant minutes in the rotation and earned the admiration not only of the coach but also of the more experienced players. "You can see the way Will Richard plays, moves, and thinks," said Steve Kerr. "He has the maturity of someone in his 7th season, despite being a rookie." Currently, Kerr has used Richard as Jimmy Butler's primary backup. Even after Moses Moody's return, the coach maintained the strategy of giving the rookie more playing time. The Golden State Warriors have done it again, finding a diamond in the rough late in the NBA draft. This time, by drafting Will Richard, they may actually change their fate in the championship race this season. The Warriors picked up a pair of former national champions this summer, both cutting down the nets with the Florida Gators. One of them, veteran center Al Horford, understandably received the bulk of the attention. His shooting ability and defensive versatility from the center position will be invaluable to the Warriors. It's worth not forgetting about the other former Gator, however. Will Richard was a starter on last year's Florida team that won the title and then entered the NBA draft. Given his lack of a single elite skill, he slipped down draft boards. The league's trash was the Warriors' treasure, however, and they traded up a few slots to draft him with the 56th pick of the 2025 NBA draft's second round. The Warriors have found treasure at that part of the draft in recent years. Tracy Jackson-Davis was selected with the 57th pick in 2023, stretch big Quentin Post was the 52nd pick in 2024. Both TJD and Post are viable NBA rotation players, which is not something you can usually say about players drafted that late. With both Jackson-Davis and Post, however, they are position-locked at center. Every NBA team needs quality centers, and drafting those two players has been a real help to the Warriors. Yet when things get real in the playoffs, the Warriors are always going to be sliding to Draymond Green at center. Add in Al Horford and there's no need in the rotation for TJD and Post in the most important games. They will provide a lot of value over the course of the season, especially as Horford doesn't play back-to-backs, but they aren't changing the ceiling for this team. Will Richard may change the Warriors' fate. Yet Will Richard might just do that. The 6 feet 4 inches Richard has a 6 feet 10 inches wingspan and has toggled between multiple positions during the preseason, playing everything from shooting guard to power forward. He is a solid defender just coming into the league, and he played a versatile offensive role for Florida last season that thus far is translating into the NBA. Richard played 14 minutes in the Warriors' season opener, a rare feat for a rookie on a team with championship aspirations. He made both of his shots, played under control, and defended with energy. In the Warriors' second game, another national television spectacle against the Denver Nuggets, Richard exploded. In an overtime showdown with a team expected to challenge for the Western Conference crown, Stephen Curry and the Warriors went toe-to-toe and ultimately prevailed. And they did so in large part because of Will Richard. The rookie again was in the rotation and played a total of 17 minutes. He was making defensive rotations, he was flying in for contested rebounds, and he made a few on-time passes to set up his teammates. He has all of the vague but important adjectives that coaches love. He has verve, he has grit, he has passion. Richard is almost certainly not the kind of player to become an unexpected star. He isn't Draymond Green. Perhaps he can be like Danny Green, however, who built himself into an indispensable role player on a number of title teams. This matters because Richard plays on the wing, not at center. When the Warriors go to their very best rotation, with Green playing substantial minutes at center as he has to start the season, Richard still matters. He can fill in the team's wing depth around the core stars. His pathway to that relevancy may not be straight. Moses Moody is back and will take minutes in the rotation. Richard and the entire roster sans Curry struggled in the team's third game of the season, a blowout loss in Portland to the Trail Blazers. He is a second-round rookie and hasn't earned any formal standing in the rotation. If he is truly the player he has appeared to be thus far, however a reliable and impactful glue guy, there is a place for him on the Warriors and in the rotation. And when the chips are down, he might just change everything for the Warriors in the way that the very best role players always do. Moses Moody's encouraging update after returning from 2-week calf issue. The Golden State Warriors have navigated a hot start to the 2024-25 season, working to find consistency while managing different lineup combinations. With Stephen Curry continuing to lead the way and Draymond Green anchoring the defense, the Warriors have shown flashes of their championship past while also dealing with the challenges of integrating younger players and maintaining health across the roster. The team's depth has been tested early, making every available body crucial as they aim to secure playoff positioning in a loaded Western Conference. Moody gives promising update. "I'm good. I'm ready to go," Moody said to reporters at Warriors practice Sunday. "Yeah, I feel great." The 22-year-old's return comes at a crucial time for the Warriors, who have been managing injuries throughout the early portion of the season. Moody's absence left a noticeable gap in Golden State's rotation, particularly on the defensive end, where his versatility has become very important. Moody provided additional details about the injury that sidelined him, downplaying the seriousness of what happened. "It was really minor, no structural damage or anything," Moody said of his injury recovery. "I got the MRI, but it was really just about strengthening it and being precautionary. So, I'm in a good place." Impact on the lineups. Before the injury, Moody was carving out a consistent role in head coach Steve Kerr's rotation. The former lottery pick has shown steady improvement in his decision-making and three-point shooting, two areas that have become essential in Golden State's system. The front office is very high on the young forward's ability to be a dynamic offensive and defensive threat alongside their aging core, and Moody's return gives Kerr additional flexibility in constructing lineups. His 6'6" frame and improving offensive game allow him to play both wing positions, and his activity on defense has drawn praise from teammates and coaches. The Warriors will benefit from having a healthy Moody available as the season progresses. For Moody personally, staying healthy is the next step in his development. The former Arkansas standout has shown flashes of being a reliable two-way player, and consistent availability will be key to keeping his place in the rotation. As Golden State navigates the stacked Western Conference, depth pieces like Moody become much more important over the course of a long season. His readiness to return improves the Warriors' overall roster and provides Kerr with more options as the team pursues another playoff run. With Moody looking ready to go, Warriors fans can expect to see him back on the court soon, bringing his two-way ability with young legs back into the rotation. Warriors must keep eye on long-rumored trade target amid growing center problem. He started the season in hot form again. The free agency addition of Al Horford looked to have addressed the Golden State Warriors center rotation entering the season, but perhaps the franchise needs to remain with an eye on one of their previously notable trade targets in Nikola Vucevic. Horford has already delivered for the Warriors in Thursday's pulsating overtime victory against the Denver Nuggets, yet there's still growing concern on the team's center rotation based on the limited impact of Quinton Post and Tracy Jackson-Davis thus far. Warriors should maintain an eye on Nikola Vucevic. Horford will miss Monday's home matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies, the second straight game he'll be rested from as Golden State manage the 39-year-old on either side of a back-to-back. The Warriors have already had to play Draymond Green as a small ball five significantly through the first 3 games of the season, something Steve Kerr knows can't continue across an entire 82-game campaign. Golden State should already be taking a look at potential center options on the trade market, particularly those who like Horford can stretch the floor and complement the improving forward trio of Green, Jimmy Butler, and Jonathan Kuminga. That means that Vucevic should remain on their radar, having been the trade candidate that was arguably most strongly linked to the Warriors until the mid-season deadline where they ultimately acquired Butler. Jake Fisher of the Stein Line reported in July that Golden State had moved on from the idea of Vucevic, Nothing that they were the favorites to sign Horford, which didn't officially happen until after media day due to Kuminga's free agency. There's no doubt that turning their attention to Horford was the right decision, but perhaps there's room for both veteran centers if the Warriors don't feel comfortable in the young duo of Post and Jackson Davis. Horford is certainly much more of a consistent two-way presence who's on a far more valuable contract, yet Golden State don't want to log him heavy minutes in a way they could do with Vucevic. The 35-year-old has averaged over 30 minutes in each of the past 7 seasons, and has again started this season strongly by posting averages of 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists on 64% shooting from the floor and 71.4% from three-point range through 2 games. Matching Vucevic's $21.5 million expiring salary is going to be incredibly difficult without giving up Kuminga once he's trade eligible, but that shouldn't stop the Warriors from at least keeping an eye on the 6 feet 10 inches big man. There was speculation during the offseason that Vucevic could be bought out, but Golden State couldn't benefit from that surprise move in later months anyway given they're above the first tax apron. DeAnthony Melton's return could force Gary Payton II almost entirely out of the rotation. Apart from 15 games Payton played with the Portland Trail Blazers in 2022-23, he stands as one of the longest-tenured Warriors apart from their veteran core of Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, and, during that time, he has endeared himself both to the coaching staff and the fanbase through his propensity to make high-energy plays. However, apart from his veteran experience and infectious energy, Payton has never really brought much to the table in terms of production. Last season, he averaged just 6.5 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.3 assists on a diet of 15 minutes per game. Golden State's backcourt situation suddenly has become rather crowded with the signing of Melton, the rumored re-signing of Seth Curry, and the relatively surprising rotational emergence of rookie guard Will Richard. While Seth Curry likely will take on an end-of-bench support role for the Warriors when he does rejoin the team, Richard, who has played significant minutes in each of the team's games so far, looks poised to take on a serious role this season. Moreover, Melton, as an apt point-of-attack defender and a capable perimeter shooter, has the potential to compete with Brandon Podziemski for the starting role when he returns, and he will likely take on a significant rotational role as long as he can stay healthy. This leaves a probable backcourt hierarchy of Curry, Podziemski, Melton, Hield, and Richard, with Payton sitting squarely at the bottom. Therefore, do not be surprised if Melton's return pushes Payton's minutes well below the 10 to 11 range has seen so far this season, however painful it may be to see a veteran of Payton's caliber fall out of the rotation. Warriors' strong start draws comparisons to prior championship-level teams. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors have begun this season 2-1, despite having the oldest starting lineup in the NBA. With 2 impressive wins against the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, their loss came against the Portland Trail Blazers on the second night of a back-to-back, where nobody played more than 27 minutes. Curry has been able to thrive with the team around him, and Jimmy Butler is the exact companion he has needed beside him. Before the season, some people doubted how this team would perform, which is why Fansided's Christopher Klein labeled the Warriors as a team who have exceeded expectations so far. Golden State looked like the Golden State of old, that beautiful game style that defined the Dubs' championship runs was on full display, Klein said Friday. All the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. Only time can tell us if it's sustainable, but man, watching the Warriors go blow for blow with Denver on national TV, just days after dismantling the Luka-led Lakers, felt like a moment of revelation. Jonathan Kuminga was locked in on the small things in a way he never was before his contract saga. Al Horford, Buddy Hield, and the entire second unit fits like a glove. Horford's mid-post playmaking is going to pop all season with Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler in his orbit. After a stressful offseason, this is exactly what the Warriors needed. Jonathan Kuminga looks like he wants to be there, Gary Payton II is still a defensive menace, and rookie Will Richard is playing meaningful minutes. This aging Warriors team is nowhere near what it used to be, but maybe it doesn't have to be. With a competitive Western Conference, Steve Kerr's new genius formula could be just enough for the Warriors to get over the hump.